Here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition or episode of What Drives You. I am your co-host, Stan Windhorn. With me, as always, is my good buddy and co-host, Carl Bauer. Carl, you're looking sharp in that hat today.
I'm sorry, I'm a little underdressed. Welcome everybody.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I'm on a little PTO. It's my birthday weekend, so I was taking a chill, but we had to get some content out there and a very, very lively subject of a topic that we're going to be
Whoa, whoa,
discussing
whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on a second. It's your birthday?
on Monday.
Really? Well, happy birthday, my good friend.
Thank you, thank you. The big 5'9". I know that I don't want to probably share that out there with the world, but I did. So I
There
am.
you go. So, what are we talking about today? You said you had an interesting topic. I'm curious.
Well, it's one of your contacts, which I think is one of your greatest all time stand the man stories. But this is a young lady, younger than us, who has sold over 80 million records. Stan, 80 million records. She has also her movies have done $3.1 billion plus in box office. Probably didn't know that.
Okay.
And her net worth, I don't know how much I believe these, but her net worth says she's around $400 million. So a little more than
So
us.
she's doing a little better than us, is what you're saying.
Doing all right.
All right.
Yeah. And this is a personal. This is what blows me away about this. Obviously, you know this person. You spent time with her. You celebrated with her. You've been in her house. So I'm going to kick it off and let you disclose who this amazing powerhouse of a celebrity is.
I know who you're talking about now. You are talking about Jennifer J-Lo Lopez.
So yeah,
Yeah.
how did you meet her? How did you get in touch with her? Give us the story because I think it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is a fun story. And I'm going to preface this story that out of all the creative things I've done, this is one of them that I'm the most proud of because I had very, very little time to pull this off, and we pulled it off. But yeah, so Carl, I've been lucky. I've had an opportunity to meet a lot of people, famous people or whatever the case may be. But this one was kind of unique because I did spend pretty much the weekend at Jennifer's house. The backstory on this is fairly uh, recent after her divorce from Mark Anthony, who is the father of her two kids. Um, and rumors were circulating that she was dating her backup dancer, whose professional name was Casper Smart. His real name is Bo. And I've known Bo since he was just a small little guy, really talented guy. And he always had this kind of bigger than life personality, even when he was just a kid. But I'm really good friends with his mom. And at this particular time, it was the rumors were that they were dating, but nothing was official. But his mom had called me one day and said, I just got to talk to somebody about this. And I know I can trust you not to leak this out. But I guess Jennifer had spent the Thanksgiving with her and the family, and they were all sworn to secrecy. They couldn't say anything about it. So I knew his mom. Would you have a question?
I was just going to pause right there. Can you imagine just a little anecdote? you you're at your Thanksgiving dinner and J Lo or someone of that stature is like in your like how would you not? I would have a hard time holding that back. But anyway,
Yeah, but that's part of the key to this whole thing. And part of the key to this story is you got to just treat people like normal people. If you do, they will treat you like a normal person. If you put them up on this pedestal, oh my God, this is Jennifer Lopez, then you give them no choice but to kind of talk down to you. But anyway, so I knew Bo's mom from medieval times. We worked there. And I had done a couple of Halloween things with Bo in the past and stuff. But one day I get a phone call from Bo, Casper, and he goes, "Hey, we want to put on a party in my friend's backyard for her manager. And they're really into a show called The Tudors, which was on Showtime, sort of a medieval base." He goes, "Yeah, we want to do some jousting and sword fighting." He goes, "Can you get some of the crew together?" And I'm like, really, Bo, who's your friend? And he says, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. I'm like, shut up. I already know. But anyway, yeah, they flew me and the young lady I was dating at the time up for the weekend. I arrived there at 10 o'clock California time on a Friday night. And Bo met us at the front door of Jennifer's obviously gorgeous giant home, walked us through this place. It was really beautiful. And we walked into this big dance studio. I mean, this thing was, I'm sure there's professional dance studios that aren't as big as this one. And she was there with her best friend, Leah Remini, um, and from the King of Queens show and many other things,
Yeah.
and some other people, and they were rehearsing for a dance that they were going to perform the next night at this party. By the way, the party was for Benny Medina, who is Jennifer's longtime manager. So they were all just kind of sitting there in sweatpants and socks and kind of sitting down up against this mirror, and I walk in and Jennifer kind of gets up and she's looking like, who are these people and why are they in my house at 10 o'clock at night? But she gets up and she's like, hi, I'm Jen. And I'm like, hey, Jen, I'm Stan. And introduced her to my girlfriend at the time. And we kind of just started talking a little bit. But I was getting sort of a weird feeling like maybe she wasn't even aware that I was coming or something. But I was like, listen, we have no time. It's 10 o'clock at night on a Friday. This party starts at 7 o'clock the next day. I have less than 24 hours to pull this whole thing off. So I'm like, listen, Bo, we got to go check out the backyard. I got to see where we're going to do this. Is there enough room for the horses and stunts and all this kind of stuff? So we went out in the backyard, and Jennifer and Leah came out, and they had a box of Oreo cookies. And I guess she figured out why I was there then and all this stuff, but she really warmed up and was offering us cookies. And it was really interesting to see her and Leah Remedy together. Um, the language that those two use with each other would make a sailor blush. But anyway, we're looking at the backyard. I'm like, okay, we can do this, we can do this. I was noticing that there were big sprinkler holes. Um, and I'm like, man, I don't know about this. The guys could get, when they're fighting, they could twist an ankle or a horse. And Jennifer would say things like, oh, no, that'll be taken care of. Okay, we got less than 24 hours. But anyway, we went inside, and really it was the four of us and her assistant and a couple other people just sitting around her kitchen table trying to figure out what we were going to do. Now, I had already prearranged for some of my friends. In fact, I'm going to give a shout out to the Imperial Knights, Tom Montgomery and company. He's a knight that came from medieval times and started his own traveling jousting show. So I had already arranged they were going to be there the next day. So I wasn't too worried about them because we've worked together so much. It would have been a matter of going, okay, we're going to start off with this horse fight, and then we're going to do a Mondobly fight. That part I knew we could pull off. But what is the rest of it going to look like? What's the script going to be? And I wanted to have some sort of a surprise. So we kicked around the idea of maybe Jennifer being the surprise night or Bo being the surprise night. But we're sitting around and we're just talking about all these ideas for hours and hours and hours. What was really cool, Carl, is we were in the her
Foyer.
foyer,
Yeah.
foyer. We were in her foyer, and obviously this beautiful entryway, and she had this spiral staircase that went up to sort of a veranda, and she's up there, and I think we're just kind of vamping here, kind of coming up with ideas, but she goes, "Yes, I'll be dressed as a princess, and when he comes through the door, I'll come down the stairs." And I watched her go into character, and I was just like, there's a reason why this person is a movie star. There's something special about people like her. And to be able to work on a creative project with someone of that caliber was, obviously super cool for me. But what was really weird is she kept saying things like, "Oh, well, and there'll be a harpist over here, and there'll be gold roses over here." And I'm like, how is this possible? We've got less than 24 hours. I never once saw her go, Deborah, make sure this happens, or Jose, make sure this happens. Her people are just attuned to when she's saying these things. Everything that she thought of, it was there. It happened. It was really, really interesting. And it was cool that you never saw her like giving orders or anything like that. Her people just know that when she's talking like this, that that's their job to make it happen. I'll give you just one other quick thing. The next day we're looking, and sure enough, those sprinkler holes were filled with dirt. They were level. I'm like, how? How did this happen? But she had already arranged for this beautiful setup out on the back patio by her pool. There was suits of armor and artwork and all this stuff. And there was this big sort of rug with four thrones, one for her and Bo, and then one for Benny Medina and his boyfriend. And one of these round dirt covered sprinkler things was kind of right in front of the throne. So I said, hey, Jen, why don't we pull this rug forward a little bit so it kind of hides this? And she goes, oh, no, there'll be grass there. What? Next thing I know, there was grass there, that a piece of sod. It was really, really incredible. So it was really neat to work with her on this. And I got to tell you, man, we pulled it off, dude. Um, so I'll save you a lot of the little things. I'll tell you a couple quick stories that I thought were kind of funny, but it sort of goes back to, they're just normal people at the end of the day. And there was a couple of times where I was just having fun with Jen and, kind of giving her a hard time. Um, like we were walking through the backyard, just the two of us, and she was in this neighborhood called Hidden Hills. Beautiful, beautiful view, obviously. But I said something, we were walking through the backyard. I said, Jen, you've done pretty well for yourself, in life. You couldn't afford a place with a decent view? And she starts laughing and it's like, I know, it's incredible, isn't it? Anyway, any questions so far? I feel like I'm rambling.
No, I was actually looking up Benny Medina because I couldn't remember. I remember that name, and you tell me the name, but I was looking at that. So I mean, it to the fact that she just went from all right suspicious to now I'm partnering and collaborating with you in under
Yeah,
24 hours. It's just obviously she knew you had skills and confidence and all that. So, but pretty
yeah.
cool that she just let you in and was like, "Let's go."
Yeah, well, the whole like, what are you doing in my house at 10 o'clock night feeling that I got, that only lasted for about 10, 15 minutes. Once we started, I think once she realized why I was really there and we started coming up with the creative side of the script and what we were going to pull off, yeah, it was really fun working with her and Bo. So anyway, here's what we ended up with. First of all, lots and lots of guests are all invited. They all had to sign non-disclosures because they didn't want this to go public and everything like that. Thankfully, they did not ask me to do that, which was good because I did not betray that trust. But all these people are showing up and they had a full-blown costume thing where everybody got a costume to put on. And so they were all waiting there in the backyard for Benny to show up. Here's the other thing too, is I had only phone calls with Benny's boyfriend. And so to pull this part off was pretty amazing too. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but he had no idea that this party was happening. He thought he was coming over to watch movies for his birthday in Jennifer's theater. So he pulls up. Um, this part of Hidden Hills, there's a stop sign, and then the road goes up a little bit, and then there's Jennifer's house on the right. Howie Mandel actually was on the left. He was kind of wondering why all these guys in knights outfits and stuff were going on. I got to talk to him a little bit, but anyway, so she has like a circular driveway, and then the driveway goes underneath the second story of the house, which I found out was her closet. Interesting story about her closet too. But anyway, you go through that and there was two four-car garages on each side with this big thing, and that was sort of our staging area. So Benny and his boyfriend pull up to the stop sign, and Bo's waiting there on horseback, full garb, dressed up. Bo's a really good horse rider, too, by the way. But anyway, Benny's like, "What the hell's going on?" And Bo's like, "Your Majesty, get out of the car." And he puts this cape on Benny and puts him on the other horse and leads him up to that area where the driveway goes under the house. Well, there's two maidens waiting there for them. One of them takes Benny's boyfriend off to get into costume, and the other one takes Benny off to get into costume. And of course, Benny gets the full, he's the king. He's dressed in this beautiful king's outfit. Once he's dressed, Bo takes him through the front door. They open up the front doors. There's a harpist playing. There's gold roses. There's Jennifer Lopez in a princess outfit on top of the veranda. Your Majesty, we're here celebrating. Blah 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 blah. She comes down, takes him upstairs through her master bedroom out onto this big patio. And there we have trumpeters, which, by the way, I'd work with all of these people, that all the cues and everything. But they're doing this thing. He walks out and he looks down, and there are all of his friends, all dressed up in costume. I'm there on a big black Frisian horse. Your Majesty, happy birthday surprise. And he doesn't know. Yeah, I mean, he's just losing his mind. So then we take him back down and we put him back on a horse. I ride out to the crowd and do my opening thing. My lords and ladies, we're here this day to celebrate the birthday of His Majesty Benny Medina. And I give, this whole introduction, and then we lead him out on a horse. He's sitting on the throne, and Jennifer's sitting next to him on the throne. And I'm explaining to him, "Oh, Your Majesty, we're here to honor you on your name day, but I must warn you, there is danger about, for the Blue Knight is upset that he was not invited to your big festival. But have no worries. We have sent riders to the four corners of the kingdom in search of your champion and is here to protect you. It is the Yellow Knight." And the Yellow Knight comes riding out on horseback and all this stuff. And everything's going good. And then all of a sudden, don't, don't, music changes. By the way, I had very little time to work with the music people and stuff either. All of a sudden, the Blue Knight comes out and he's upset. "You have insulted me in my house by not inviting me to this, and now I want revenge. Yellow Knight, you're the champion. Will you protect His Majesty?" So these guys do what they do best. And of course, it was amazing. They're doing full blown horseback fights. One guy falls off, some more fighting. The other guy falls off. Fight, 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 fight. All the different fights that they do so incredibly well. And then, uh-oh, the Blue Knight kills the Yellow Knight. "No, this can't be possible. Who will protect us now?" And the Blue Knight saying to Benny the King, "Now I want your head and I want your whole kingdom." And all of a sudden, out of the bushes pops out another knight, and he slays the Blue Knight and saves the day. And we're like, "You've saved us all. Kneel before His Majesty the King." And he kneels down. I said, "Remove your helmet so you can be properly honored." And he says, "No." And I'm like, "I said, remove your helmet so you can be properly honored." And he removes his helmet, and it's Benny's boyfriend who saved the day. So that was the big surprise that we came up with. And nobody knew the surprise uh, except for a few of us. So it really went off good. But I mean, while I'm doing all the intro stuff with Benny and everything, my guys are teaching Benny's boyfriend how to kill somebody with a sword without actually hurting them, and what to do and all this. So we really had very little time to pull it off, but we did it, man. And the show went off great. I sort of emceed the rest of the evening. Got to meet some really cool people like Barry Gordy, who is Benny Medina's godfather, but Barry Gordy, who founded Motown Records. And uh, although I will tell you that when I announced him when he was going to do a toast, I think I might have said Barry Gordon instead of Gordy. And Benny Medina corrected me because it's not Gordon, it's Gordy. And I'm like, "Oh, yes, my lords and ladies." But anyway, super fun time. I was very proud of what we pulled off in a short period of time. And like I said before, it was just really cool to work with a professional of her caliber. It was neat.
So couple questions if I
Yeah,
may, if it doesn't
sure.
affect the NDA. So besides Barry Gordy,
Yeah.
who else would have been recognizable at the time that we might have?
Oh man, let me see. I think she was there with him, but I believe her name is Iman. She was a model. There really weren't that many celebrities. Of course, Leah Remini was there that night too. Oh gosh, I don't remember. But there really weren't that many, well-known celebrities at the party. I think it was really more about who Benny's friends were
Right.
uh,
What do you
that were
think
there. But
she? What do you think she spent on a
oh,
evening like
I'm gonna go certainly in the tens of thousands. I mean, just to hire the Imperial Knights, our part of it, the stunt show part of it was easily 3 or 4 grand, which we was a deal.
Yeah, yeah.
If they would have, but all those costumes and all of the props. I don't know, but it wasn't a party that I wish to be paying for. I can tell you that. Fully
He got
catered, great food, dancing that night. Yeah, it was really cool.
well. He must be a good manager and friend for her to say, "I'm gonna drop 100K or 200K on the dude for a birthday party." So that's
I
pretty.
don't know if it was 100K, but I'm sure it was probably 20,000. I don't know. It was a lot of money, but yeah, I think they've been together professionally for a long time, and you could tell there was a lot of mutual respect and a lot of mutual love uh, between them. That they
All
they
right. So
respect
big
each other.
question. Tell us
Yeah.
about her closet. You said you had some story about her closet.
Uh, so yeah, I didn't go deep into the closet. First of all, the closet was about the size of my entire upstairs. And I didn't go very deep into it, and I don't even remember why I was up there, to be honest with you, at that moment. But you know, uh, most ladies really like shoes, Carl. I don't know if you're aware of this, but many women really like shoes. Were you aware of this?
Well, Stan, you see these brown blurry doors behind me. If I were to open
Yes.
that thing, you'd see
The,
about
the, the
20
shoes would
pairs.
just come tumbling out.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's kind of like what it was. And like I said, I only saw one part of it, and I'm sure there's parts of it where her shoes are all organized. But in this one thing right at the beginning, I'm telling you, there was a pile, a pile. I've got a picture somewhere, a pile of shoes stacked up. I don't even know how you go through that many. How do you even pick a pair of shoes when you have that many to choose from? It doesn't make any sense to me.
I I I'm in the simplification mode of life right now, Stan. So I have too many shoes and need to trim down myself, but I
I
don't
do
know.
too. I have too many shoes that just don't fit me right. But anyway, yeah, it was a great experience. Uh, I've said this already, but she was just incredible to work with. She was very gracious, very kind, funny.
So did
You know,
you just practical, did you even sleep? Did you just you got there at 10 o'clock and you went right?
no, not really. I mean, I had a hard time sleeping because I was my brain was just going on the scripting and the blocking and the how thinking about how do I get the music person dialed in so that the right music's playing at the right time, and I've got to work with the trumpeters to make sure they're everything. It was a lot, so I did not sleep much that night. I got up early the next morning thinking that everybody else was going to get up early and get to work too, but not so much.
Not so much. Where was your lady friend during all this planning and prep? Was she just sitting by the pool or what? Was she helping?
No, she was there with us and helping and uh yeah, I don't know. She was just kind of there taking it all in. But yeah, that next morning, one of Jen's housekeepers or whatever was there, so made us a little breakfast and had some coffee and stuff. But yeah, for a while there, and this was super frustrating. I was just sitting in one of her like living rooms by her kitchen waiting for them to get up so we could get to work. That part was super frustrating, but it's not a bad, they weren't bad digs to be hanging out in if you've got to hang out somewhere.
So when she coming on? I'm sure you've kept in touch. I mean, when is she coming on the channel?
Yeah. Oh, we're still like this. We're just like this. Me and Jen, we
Like
talk every
this, you
week
mean?
or so.
This is you, and this
We
is
usually talk once a week, once every other. I'm kidding. No, I'm sure she remembers that event. I doubt she would
oh,
necessarily remember me.
Stan.
Um,
You're unforgettable. I would imagine she would remember you. But on a personal note, what about Bo and wait, Bo? What's his?
He's professionally known as Casper Smart. His real name is
Yes.
Bo, and he's done well. He and Jen are not together anymore. They dated for 4 or 5 years, but he's done really well. I would love to have Bo on as a guest. That's a possibility. Um, but yeah, Bo has gone on. He's a very accomplished choreographer. He's choreographed. He's
Choreographed.
done choreography for lots of big names. I know Eminem. The list goes on and on and on of the people that he has helped, and he's a hell of a good dancer himself. Um,
Casper, I
and
mean Bo, if you're out there, I'm sure you're gonna run across this, podcast,
I'm
this
going to
video.
call him. I'm going to invite him on the show.
All right. Well, he's
Um,
welcome. Even if
yeah,
he
but he's
reaches out
gone
to
on
you.
now. He was a judge, maybe still is, on sort of like You Think You Can Dance or Dancing with the Stars, one of those types of shows for the Latino market.
Oh, okay.
Um, and yeah, he's just done really well for himself, and he's I see him every now and then having some cool parts on some shows. Did you ever watch Shameless? Took
Yeah.
place there in Chicago. He had a pretty good role on Shameless there for a little bit, but yeah, he's done really well, and he's a good dude.
Now you're making me look him up because remember my friend John Moncton, rest in peace. He was a union guy on that. He was on that show the whole entire era that it ran. John Moncton. He was like a key grip, a lighting guy, union.
Oh, yeah, Bo, I think was on 1 or 2 episodes. He played a cook or something like that, but then he was drinking with the main character there. But yeah, Casper Smart is how he's known professionally.
38 years old. Is that him?
Sounds about right. Gosh,
Bo
I bet I met
Casper
him when he
Smart.
was 5,
Ah,
5 or 6. I remember throwing a football around out in the front yard with him and his older brother. But he and his brother, his mom was a single mom who worked at Medieval Times, and there would be times where she didn't have any choice, but they'd be sitting there doing their homework while she was working until someone could come and get them before the Medieval Times show. But I'm still very dear friends with his mother, who's one of my favorite people.
he now when I see him clean cut and like full head of hair, he looks familiar from the show.
Yeah, good dude.
Let's get him.
Bo Casper Smart, we want you on What Drives You.
Want to
You
know?
know who I'd really like to have is Benny Medina. I think it'd be really interesting to talk to Benny about that end of the business, that management and having to manage a big name like Jennifer Lopez would. I bet that would be really interesting.
Uh, Bring him on. What drives you, Benny? Let's
All
go.
right. Well, there's the story, Carl.
I love it. I've heard bits and pieces of that, everybody. So obviously, all kidding aside, she's an amazing, amazing woman. I know she's, her marital status in life has been kind of an interesting journey too. But as far as a powerhouse in entertainment and fashion and music, holy moly!
Listen, she is in my opinion, she is a icon in many things. First of all, she's what I don't know if it's called the triple threat. She can sing, she can dance, so she performs in like Vegas. She's done had hit music and music videos and a movie star. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and be just a little off color, but she changed before Jennifer or J Lo, as we call her. Larger booties were not in fashion. But when she came on the scene, all of a sudden, that badonkadonk, that larger booty became all the rage, and it still is to this day. I think she's really responsible for that trend. I was almost going to say like a fashion trend, but throughout history, what people consider to be beautiful has
Yeah,
changed a lot. It'll continue to change, but I really think that she's responsible for that change in what people consider to be the in thing of beauty.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. She's
so
done.
there you go.
She is definitely a triple threat and in business too. I mean, just her,
Yep.
her fashion thing. I actually, Sam, when I was researching for today, looks like she's going to have a residency at Caesars or one of the big strip casinos.
She's done a couple of residencies in Vegas. I got to go check out the show.
Let's
I
go.
do have her personal assistant in my phone. Maybe I can go back and say hi to her.
Well,
Um,
what we should do is go battle bots, see
Bill
Bill
Dwyer. Yeah.
Dwyer, who we just had on, and then we should go see J Lo, and maybe we can meet up with Bo out there.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen.
We can
But
dream.
I don't know. Anyway, never mind. Yeah. Hey, Casper, smart. Let's come on the show, man.
Let's
I'd love to
go.
have you. All right, buddy.
Thanks, man. Have a
That's
good
all I got
weekend.
for you today.
Hey, we got more coming. I know you got some other good stories, so
I do.
Stan, excited to hear them.
Appreciate you, bud.
Thanks.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching What Drives You and Be Good Humans.
Amen.